Joann's is closing all of its stores, and I have got really mixed feelings about the whole thing. It has not been nearly as much fun to shop there in recent years. Once they made the announcement that our local store was going, I started to make a list of what I still buy there and where else I can buy it or how I can make do without it. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle. I do needlework, I knit, I quilt, and happily I have been building up my stash from estate sales and thrift stores over the years. So that whole stash acquisition beyond life expectancy joke, yeah, I've happily bought the stuff from people who were in that situation, and I'm probably pretty close to that situation myself, but I do still need some things now and then. So here is my plan moving forward, and we'll start with the quilting. I bought a full bolt of Warm and Natural about 10 years ago, and it has been sitting in my bedroom ever since. I did use all of the bolt that I was halfway through when I bought that one because it was like a great Black Friday sale or something. I've never felt bad about having it there, but now I am even more glad that I have it. I will continue to use it for the quilts I'm making for myself, for the heirloom projects, and I use that term extremely loosely. There's a cute little Mennonite store not far from here that sells polyester batting at great prices. And for quilting on my domestic machine, I really kind of like polyester batting because it reduces the bulk and means I can do bigger quilts on my little Janome. So I'm probably going to balance between the two. The quilting group I belong to provides all the batting we need for our charity quilts, although I don't know what their plan is moving forward. I do know a lot of the ladies don't like piecing leftover batting, so that is always up for grabs. And they don't care what, they just want it out of the storage area. So I probably will do that for some of the smaller quilts I make for them. For years now, I have bought my thread from Connecting Threads. I really like their Essentials brand. The price has gone up a lot since the last time I bought from them, but I still think it is one of the better deals around. My rotary cutter blades, I've been using the carpet cutter blade refills from Harbor Freight. When I looked this morning, it looked like they are discontinuing those, so I might go into the local store and see if they have any left. Otherwise, I'm going to look on Amazon. I think there are cheap off-brand blade refills out there. I am not super particular about having the sharpest blade ever. If your Dollar Tree happens to still have these Zoid rotary cutters, they are really nice. I actually like this a lot better than the Pioneer Woman rotary cutter I splurged on at Walmart because it had a pretty pair of scissors. And I bought extras of these because I figured Mom and I could take them on our annual trip. They're all mine now. The only fabric I've been buying these days at Joann's were the solids to use as quilt sashing or muslin. Walmart's Waverly solids are pretty decent, and last time I bought them, they weren't all that expensive, so I think I will get my solids from there. I'll of course keep my eyes open for solid colored sheets at thrift stores and estate sales because those work great too. The fusible interfacing I am not as sure about. I have a hunch that the Mennonite store probably sells it in their sewing section. They've got a lot of basic notions and zippers and dressmaking supplies, so it would not surprise me if they had interfacing. Dollar Tree has started selling interfacing in crafters square in packets. I haven't tried the stuff I bought yet, but for lining little project bags, I can't imagine that it wouldn't be suitable. As for the yarn, I honestly don't know. Yarn has gotten so expensive in recent years. I've got plenty for my own projects from the Hobby Lobby clearance sales of the past few years. I have got enough worsted weight acrylic to keep me in charity shawls for I don't know how long. But I am really wishing at those last few Joann's sales that I had bought some of the ombre and self-striping stuff that I was tempted to experiment with. Michael's is opening a store in our neck of the woods, and I haven't shopped at Michael's much in recent years because they were so out of the way from where I am, and my last couple trips there just were not pleasant at all. But as soon as they do open up, and I hope that that is something that is really happening and not just an unfounded rumor, I'll start looking at their yarn sales and see if there's anything worth bothering with. Premier's Just Yarn that they sell at the Dollar Tree is really nice for a inexpensive worsted weight acrylic, and some of the Dollar Tree Plus stores have big $5 skeins of it. I have not been able to find them in my area, but I'm going to keep looking. And the Premier website is actually looking a lot more tempting these days. Although I prefer to buy stuff in person and not online, I might have to change my ways to get what I need. I guess I'm going to buy my DMC at Hobby Lobby now. Their full price is not that much more than the Joann sale prices were in recent years. And I'm also going to look at my patterns a lot more carefully and see if when I'm kitting it up, it really does need a full skein, or if I can divide full skeins between projects instead of just throwing one in each new project bag. I'm going to wind up using the same amount of floss regardless because I certainly don't throw away leftovers. But maybe I can have a little less on hand for kitting up than I think I need. Thank goodness I over kitted projects when DMC was really cheap because boy, I am going through it now. As for my white Aida, I don't know where I'm going to get that. If you know a good online source for 14 and 18 count white Aida or fiddler's cloth, please let me know because after I work through what I have, I'm going to have to start doing some research. I'm hoping against hope that maybe Michaels or Hobby Lobby will add to their needlework sections to fill the gap that Joann's created, but who knows what's going to happen. The two things it looks like I'm not going to be able to splurge on anymore are the Joann's Halloween fabric. I always loved stocking up on those when there was a sale. I've got enough to make a few quilts. I probably don't need any more, and I haven't bought much in recent years, but it was always fun to go look at it and see what was new and different and buy a couple of prints that weren't too much like what I already had in my stash. I know quilt shops carry it, but theirs is a lot more expensive, and I have to be a lot more particular before paying those prices. The other thing I'm going to miss is the magazine selection. Nobody in my area, including the new bookstore that just opened, have the stitching magazines, especially World of Stitching and the European ones. So that's a bummer. I can't seem to get too upset about Joann's closing. We have lost so many stores and restaurants and products. It's just one more in a long line, and we have a local chain called Craft Warehouse that right before the Joann announcements came out, they announced they were closing stores in my area. So it's just a progression and not a happy one. If you have come up with solutions to where you're going to get your stuff now, I would love to hear about it. The clearance prices when I went in yesterday, it was 20% off of regular prices, which means clearance is more than the store's day-to-day prices because I don't know about you, but I was never buying most of the stuff if it wasn't on sale or there wasn't a coupon unless I really, really needed it right that second. Thanks for watching. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and this is seeming like a really good time to go through my stash and organize things and see what I actually have.